Joining me now is the chair of NASA's UAP Independent Study Team and the president of the Simons Foundation, David Spergel. Thank you, sir, for your time. I was captivated listening to you all this morning with this UAP report and Bill Nelson, the NASA administrator, saying that we will search the heavens and we will do so transparently. And when asked the question if there's life, he said his personal answer is yes. I'll pose that question to you. Is there life based on what you've seen in science?
Well, I can tell you what we know with certainty, which is there are an enormous number of planets out there, right? This is something we've discovered in the past 20 years, that there are as many planets as stars. There are hundreds of millions of planets in our own galaxy. There are almost certainly planets that are broadly Earth-like, Earth-matched planets at Earth-like distances around stars like the sun. So as astronomers, we've sort of answered the question, what's out there? What we don't know is the biology. Given a planet that's like the Earth, how often does life arise? And how often does complex life arise? At this point, we can, it's possible that we are the only advanced life form in our galaxy, or there may be many. We simply do not yet know.
Is it important to differentiate between UAPs and the idea of extraterrestrial phenomenon? How would you characterize the two in your research?
Oh, I would say UAPs are anything we see there that we don't know what it is, right? So an example of a UAP till we figured it out was that balloon that turned out to be a Chinese balloon that went over the US. And that looked pretty strange. People couldn't identify it initially, and then they figured out what it was. So I think it will turn out that most UAPs are balloons, are drones, are airplanes, or camera anomalies. And what we need to do is first eliminate the known, then we can go on and start to figure out the unknown, the things that are not so easily explained.
And have you been made aware of any extraterrestrial phenomenon, and what would that be defined as?
I think we've not been made aware of any phenomenon, or not seen any data that suggests that it is convincingly extraterrestrial. So I think that's all the data we've seen, all the events we've looked at, fall into two categories. Either they can be explained as conventional events, or the data is not good enough to know what's going on. Now, the latter case tells you, doesn't say that it's extraterrestrial, doesn't say it's not. It says we really want to collect high quality data that's not like the fuzzy images you're seeing here, but the kind of clear images taken with high quality cameras from multiple angles and cameras that are really optimized to be able to collect quality data. You'd like to be able to show that this isn't clouds, that these aren't events that are data that's been hacked, that when we really, if you'd like to make a conclusion as profound as we see evidence for non-human phenomenon, you would like to have data that is of the highest quality. And the sort of old fuzzy images that keep flashing up, I would not put into that category.
NASA has such a reputation, and I'm wondering how much pressure, now that you all are on this case, how much pressure it puts on the Pentagon. Will you have access to classified information that the Pentagon has compiled, and how closely will you be working, if at all, with the U.S. government?
Well, I'm not a NASA employee, so I can't speak for NASA. But NASA has had a long period of cooperation. NASA is part of the government, and NASA cooperates with the Defense Department. There are liaisons that work between NASA and the Defense Department. And while most work at NASA is, and pretty much all the data is open, there are people within NASA with high-level clearances who can work with the DoD.
And it was important to note Bill Nelson said NASA will work independently on this. We are out of time. David Spergel.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.